Are you laid off or in a dead-end job? Do you want to put your passion to work? Do you want to start or expand your own business? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need to keep watching Good Work Now. I'm Dr. Brian Moffitt. Today we're going to talk about what it takes to be an entrepreneur. And I'm very pleased to welcome to our show Larry Mandelberg. Larry is an entrepreneur. He's founding director of Bullseye Integration, and he's a mergeronomist. So before we get started, Larry, I have a couple questions. What is a mergeronomist?
You know, that's a great question, Brian. We came up with that word. That's our own word.
Okay.
Mergeronomy is the study of the integration of multiple groups of people into a single group.
Okay.
So think about when you have two different cultures or two different organizations or two different departments that don't work well together, and you want to bring those people together to work collaboratively.
Okay.
And to have a positive environment. That's what mergeronomy is all about.
And so that's what Bullseye Integration focuses on?
That's
is
what Bullseye
mergers
Integration.
And integrating folks?
Yeah, Bullseye Integration is about helping businesses eliminate the barriers to profitable growth.
Okay.
So when you can eliminate human friction or cultural barriers where people don't want to work together or have struggles working together, you get much more productivity. You get more aligned, everybody's happy, you're having fun.
Right.
That's what we do.
And you yourself are a successful entrepreneur. You've had several successful businesses. You want to just share nine. You've had 9 businesses. Give us a flavor of some of the businesses that you've had.
Well, there's really 3 primary areas that I've been involved in. The first was auto parts business. We call it the automotive aftermarket. It's the parts business. It's the Napa store. It's the Grand Auto. The second was technology and IT, and I had about 28 years of doing technology. I got into technology through the auto parts business. And then the third one is consulting, primarily management consulting, a little bit of training. And in the mid there, I dabbled with clothing, did a private label line of clothing for techno weenies.
Okay.
We called it Weenie Wear. And I did a leasing company to lease construction equipment. I've dabbled in a lot of things.
Okay. And I imagine throughout all those experiences, there were certain things that made you successful and certain things that maybe are challenges about being an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
Let's start with the first question. What is an entrepreneur? What is that?
An entrepreneur is someone that sees something that most other people don't. An entrepreneur sees an opportunity that isn't written. It's just imagined.
Okay.
It's in their mind's eye. It's a beautiful thing.
Right. So and given your past experience, how did that work for you? How did that process happen for you, seeing something that wasn't there?
Well, entrepreneurialism is not about creating brand new businesses from scratch.
Okay.
It's about bringing new ideas to old ideas and blending them to create something that hasn't existed before.
Okay.
If you think about the assembly line was an agricultural tool. It was Ford that figured out he could bring a bunch of agricultural tools into an industrial environment and manufacture cars more effectively.
Right.
So he really didn't do anything new. He did something different. And entrepreneurism is about that. For me, the first entrepreneurial venture I did was I realized we were in the auto parts business, and I thought there is a need, there are many, many needs that are not being well served by auto parts stores.
Okay.
Why can't I deliver all of those values to my customers at one time? Well, what am I talking about? Well, you have auto parts for new cars. This is in the 70s.
Okay.
You have auto parts for cars, right? But we had Datsun was being sold back then. People were starting to buy Datsuns. Where do you go to get a Volkswagen alternator or a Datsun starter? There was no place to go back in the 70s. So we wanted to do import parts. We couldn't buy them, so I had to import them. So I signed up as an importer back in the 70s, imported parts from Europe. Well, what about machine work? Well, people have brakes, they need their drums turned, they need their rotors turned, they need their flywheel ground. Well, let's put a machine shop in the back of the auto parts store.
Right.
Most of the shops you find are by themselves. And I thought, well, what about do-it-yourselfers? That's coming. I could feel it. I knew it was down the road. Let's put a bay in the back so people can drive in, rent the bay, or hire a mechanic, get their car worked on, buy their parts, have it machined, the whole 9 yards.
So it's like seeing gaps right in front of your eyes.
That's exactly what it is.
And some of us are better at seeing those things than others. Any thoughts about what it takes to see that stuff? Does it take a certain kind of person or a certain kind of personality? Or?
It takes someone who is curious
Okay.
and someone who's always learning. It takes someone who has confidence in their beliefs and their knowledge, but is always looking for new ways to expand it.
Okay.
Because if you say to yourself, the only way to get this table smooth is with a power sander, immediately you've taken away all creativity.
Right.
You need a power sander, I need to smooth the table so I can finish it.
Right.
If you think of it differently, if you think, maybe the table doesn't need to be smooth, maybe I need to rough it up to get some texture, put some color in there, get some design. Maybe I can find a chemical that I can put over it and use the chemical to make it smooth.
Exactly.
Why do I have to smooth the wood? And
So
then,
like rethinking in your head what you say to yourself.
exactly.
Okay.
And it's still a table,
Right.
right? It's used for a table. You use a chemical, you use a grinder, you use stone, you use color. You just use it in ways that it isn't normally thought of.
Exactly. So it's challenging assumptions and not being blind to possibilities and not getting stuck.
That's right.
And being myopic, that kind of thing.
I think of it as being outside your comfort zone. That tends to be a little disconcerting to most people.
Right.
So what I try and tell people is think about something that you'd like to do that doesn't work inside your comfort zone. So I try and get people to imagine not leaving their comfort zone, but bringing other things in and changing their comfort zone to be something that's different and unique, but still has that sense of comfort for them.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like a bridge to getting into another way of thinking. Okay.
It's like rose-colored glasses.
Exactly. Good
It's
metaphor.
different, but it looks good.
Right. Right.
So I'm happy.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the benefits of being an entrepreneur. I think that might be somewhat obvious, but let's explore some of the benefits of that.
Well, I think the benefits, not to be contradictory, but I would say that most people don't understand the benefits.
Okay.
Most people think about the benefits as being, I get to work whenever I want. I can take a vacation anytime I want. I get to do anything I want. I get to say whatever I want to say.
Be your own boss.
I'm my own boss. I'm tired of being told what to do.
Right.
That's really not the benefit. The benefit is the ability to pursue something that is passionate for you. That's the benefit. I want to do something that's meaningful. Well, to some people, that's taking care of children. To some people, that's taking care of older people.
Right.
To some people, that's pursuing religion. I don't care what it is. You don't get to do that when you work for a corporation. You get to work for the vision of that corporation.
Exactly.
When you're an entrepreneur, you set your own course. You still have nasty parts of the job and wonderful parts of the job, but the emotional rewards, the emotional nourishment that you get from being able to pursue a dream of your own.
Exactly. Larry, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. You've given us a lot to think about in terms of what is an entrepreneur and how to become an entrepreneur. I'd like to share Larry's contact information. Larry can be reached at bullseyeintegration.com, and his phone number is 798-0600. And if you have any comments or input from me in terms of this show or any future shows that you'd like to see on Good Work Now, please email me at brianmoffett@comcast.net. Next week, we're going to be talking about Sacramento Works and all the resources available for you entrepreneurs out there that are interested in expanding your business or maybe changing your career. Until next time, keep up the good work and thank you for watching.